Niccolo Machiavelli was tortured, exiled, and stripped of everything he built. And instead of begging the world to like him again, he sat down and wrote the most feared book in political history. He didn't write it for revenge. He wrote it because he finally understood something most people never do. Approval was never the prize. Power was. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how Machiavelli thought the cold, calculated psychology he used to turn abandonment into influence, silence into strategy, and hesitation into his greatest enemy. Stay to the end, because the last principle is the one that separates people who read about power from people who actually hold it. The opinion trap. Machiavelli watched the Medici family destroy him for something he didn't even do. Accused, imprisoned, tortured on the rack, released, broke, and cast out of the city he'd served for 14 years. And here's what he didn't do. He didn't spend his exile trying to win back the crowd's approval. He wrote this instead: men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. For everyone can see, but very few have to feel. Translation: most people are reacting to a surface. They see your outcome, not your process. They form an opinion in half a second based on nothing, and then defend that opinion like it's a fact. Machiavelli's answer to this wasn't to perform harder for the crowd. It was to stop treating the crowd's verdict as data. The people who talk the most about your choices are usually the ones who never made any of their own. That's not bitterness. That's an observation. Machiavelli built an entire political philosophy on the ones watching from the balcony have the loudest opinions about the ones fighting in the square. And here's the part people miss. Machiavelli didn't ask the balcony to go quiet. He simply stopped looking up at it. That's the whole trick. You don't win the opinion trap by arguing your way out of it. You win it by refusing to enter the arena at all. Feared, loved, or irrelevant. Everyone quotes Machiavelli's famous line about being feared versus being loved. Almost nobody applies it correctly. He didn't say fear is better than love. He said this: it is much safer to be feared than loved. If one of the two has to be wanting, men love as they please, but fear as the prince pleases. Read that again. Love is controlled by other people. Fear, or in modern terms, respect, boundaries, consequence, is controlled by you. If your peace depends on being liked by everyone around you, you have handed the keys to your own stability to strangers. Machiavelli spent his exile understanding this truth in his own body. The Florentines who once respected him abandoned him the moment he stopped being useful to their politics. So he stopped building his identity on their affection. He built it on his own judgment instead. That's the shift. Not becoming cold. Becoming ungovernable by other people's moods. There's a quieter danger Machiavelli warned about too: the ruler, who is neither feared nor loved, but simply ignored. That to him was the worst outcome of all. Being disliked is survivable. Being irrelevant is not. So the goal was never to be soft enough for everyone to approve of you. It was to matter enough that your approval couldn't be optional. A theory. Fortune favors the man who moves first. Machiavelli had a concept he returned to again and again. Fortuna, fortune, chance, the current of events you didn't choose. Against it, he placed not virtue in the moral sense, but skill, timing, decisiveness, the willingness to act while others are still deliberating. Fortune is the arbiter of one half of our actions, but she still leaves us to direct the other half. Half of life is the hand you're dealt. The other half is what you do with it in the next 60 seconds. Most people lose that other half to hesitation. They wait for the plan to feel complete. They wait for permission. They wait until the fear goes quiet, which it never does. Fear doesn't leave before you act. It leaves because you acted. Machiavelli watched Cesare Borgia seize entire territories through nothing more than speed and audacity, moving on opportunities before his rivals had finished discussing them in committee. Borgia eventually fell, but not because he moved fast. He fell because fortune shifted, and he had no second plan. Machiavelli's lesson wasn't move recklessly. It was, the door that hesitation closes never reopens on the same terms. He compared fortune to a river that floods unstoppable once it rises, but manageable if you build the levees before the storm arrives. Preparation, in his mind, was not the opposite of boldness. It was what made boldness survivable. It is better to be impetuous than cautious, for fortune is a woman. And if you wish to keep her under, it is necessary to beat and ill-use her. That line has been softened, quoted out of context, and printed on 1,000 motivational graphics. Strip away the era it was written in, and the actual claim underneath is simple. Fortune respects force of will more than it respects patience. The cautious man waits for the perfect moment and dies waiting. The prepared man who moves decisively bends the moment to fit him instead. IV, the discipline of the fox and the lion, here's a principle almost nobody talks about, and it's the one that actually built empires. Machiavelli said a ruler needs the nature of two animals, the fox to recognize traps and the lion to frighten off wolves. Those who wish to be only lions do not understand this. Strength without perception gets ambushed. Perception without strength gets walked over. Translate that into a single life, and it becomes this. Raw effort without strategy is just noise. Strategy without the discipline to execute is just theory. This is why motivation fells people. Motivation is the lion roaring for an audience. Discipline is the fox quiet, watching, working when nobody's applauding. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince in a burst of inspiration. He wrote in exile, alone, at a desk. In clothes he changed specifically so the work would feel serious, a private discipline nobody was there to witness or reward. Nobody claps for the fox. That's exactly why the fox survives longest. The lion energy is easy to fake for a weekend. The fox's patience is nearly impossible to fake for a decade. That's the actual filter separating people who talk about ambition and people who quietly accumulate it. One of them needs the crowd to keep going, and the other doesn't. V. The power of refusal. There's a piece of Machiavellian psychology hiding inside his diplomatic letters that most readers skip past. How often he counseled patience and refusal over eager agreement. He understood something that modern negotiation theory only rediscovered centuries later. The party that needs the deal least controls the deal. Say yes to everything, and you signal desperation. Desperation invites exploitation. Every prince who begged for an alliance got a worse one than the prince who could calmly walk away from the table. This is psychological, not just political. A person who has never said no has no leverage, not with employers, not with peers, not with their own time. Machiavelli's advisory pattern was consistent. Weigh the offer against your position, and when it doesn't serve you, decline without over-explaining. Every justification you give is a thread your opponent can pull. Silence after no is a complete sentence. Notice, too, that refusal was never framed as an emotional reaction in his writing. It was arithmetic. Does this serve the position or weaken it? He removed feeling from the decision entirely, which is exactly why his no carried more weight than most people's yes. VI, judged by results, not intentions. The most misquoted idea in his entire body of work. The ends justify the means. He never wrote that sentence. What he actually argued was subtler and, frankly, more useful in the actions of all men and especially of princes, where there is no impartial arbiter. One must consider the final result. People will forgive almost any method once they see the outcome it produced. They will forgive almost no outcome, no matter how noble the method, if it fails. This is not an excuse for cruelty. It's a warning against people who mistake good intentions for good strategy. You can mean well and still lose everything, because the world does not grade on intention. It grades on results, and then constructs the story about intention afterward. Build for the result. Let the story write itself once you've already won. This is also where Machiavelli splits from the moralists of his time. He wasn't telling princes to abandon virtue, he was telling them not to be enslaved by the appearance of virtue at the cost of the outcome that actually protects their people. A ruler who is gentle but loses the state has failed the very people his gentleness was meant to protect. 7. The enemy inside the court. Machiavelli spent pages warning princes about a danger far more common than an invading army: the advisor who flatters instead of informs. There is no other way of guarding oneself from flatterers except letting men understand that telling you the truth will not offend you. Flattery feels good precisely because it costs the flatterer nothing and asks nothing hard of you. Truth, by contrast, is expensive to hear and rarely comes wrapped in comfort. Most people surround themselves, without noticing, with a court of flatterers' friends. Followers, even their own inner monologue that only ever confirms what they already want to believe. Machiavelli's counsel here was almost surgical. Seek out a small number of people who will tell you the truth when asked, and shut the door on everyone else's unsolicited opinion. Wisdom isn't collected from a crowd. It's filtered through people who have earned the right to disagree with you. A prince surrounded by yes men doesn't feel like he's losing right up until the moment he already has. V8, The Mask and the Man. Machiavelli made a distinction that most people collapse into one thing: what you feel and what you show. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. This is not a call to dishonesty. It's a warning about exposure. Every emotion you broadcast in real time becomes information your rivals can use against you. Your anxiety tells them where to push. Your excitement tells them what you want. Your anger tells them exactly how to bait you. A prince who wears every feeling on his face is a prince with no strategy left, because his opponents have already read the whole board before he's made a move. This doesn't mean becoming numb. It means understanding that composure is not the absence of feeling, it's the refusal to hand your feelings to an audience that hasn't earned them. Machiavelli's princes weren't emotionless. They were simply unreadable. There's a difference between hiding your ambition and announcing it to a room full of people who benefit from your failure. The first is strategy. The second is a confession. IX. The Republic inside one person. It's easy to forget that Machiavelli didn't only write about princes. In his other major work, The Discourses, he argued that the most durable power doesn't come from a single ruler at all. It comes from a system of checks that keeps any one impulse from running the whole show. Apply that inward, and it becomes something closer to self-government than politics. The version of you that wants comfort, the version that wants ambition, the version that wants revenge, the version that wants rest. Machiavelli would say the strongest person isn't the one who lets whichever version is loudest that day make every decision. It's the one who has built internal checks, a habit that overrides the mood, a standard that overrides the excuse. A republic survives not because its citizens are virtuous, but because its structure doesn't depend on them being virtuous. That's the model. Don't build a life that only works when you feel motivated. Build one that survives you on your worst day, because on your worst day, The structure is the only thing still standing guard. X. Legacy. Over the moment, Machiavelli spent his final years watching younger diplomats occupy the roles he'd once held, the visible seats, the applause, the immediate spotlight. He didn't chase it back. He wrote instead. Slowly, without an audience. For years, largely unpublished, unrewarded, unnoticed. The Prince wasn't even released in his lifetime with the impact it has now. Machiavelli never lived to see his own name become an adjective. He built for a horizon he wouldn't personally witness. That's the final principle, and it's the one that separates a moment from a legacy. The performer is remembered for a season. The strategist is studied for centuries. Every prince he ever advised is a footnote now. Machiavelli is the whole book. Close. Machiavelli didn't get his city back. He didn't get his old position back. He died still technically in disgrace. And he is more powerful today than every single person who exiled him. Not because he begged fortune for mercy, but because he refused to let other people's opinions, other people's timelines, or other people's approval decide what he built next. The fox doesn't ask the yard for permission to move. Every principle in this video points at the same center. Stop outsourcing your decisions to people who will never live with the consequences of them. Not the balcony, not the crowd, not the flatterers in your own court. The opinion trap, the fear of irrelevance, the hesitation that costs you the door, the discipline nobody claps for, the power sitting inside every calm. No, none of it works unless you're the one making the call. That was Machiavelli's real inheritance. Not cruelty, not manipulation for its own sake. Clarity, the willingness to see the board exactly as it is, and act on it without waiting for someone else's blessing. Most people spend their lives negotiating with a crowd that never agreed to show up for them in return. They wait for consensus before committing to anything. Ask 10 people for advice and end up with 10 versions of doubt. Machiavelli's work is underneath the politics. A rejection of that habit, the committee in your head, was never built to run your life. It was built to keep you safe and indistinguishable. And safety never built anything worth remembering. If even one of these principles landed for you, that's not an accident. It means some part of you already thinks like a strategist and just needed the language for it. You already sensed the balcony was loud and empty. You already suspected the no you never said cost you more than the deal you were afraid to lose. This video didn't teach you something new. It gave a name to something you already knew and had been talked out of trusting. So do what Machiavelli never got the chance to do in his own lifetime. Make sure this doesn't get buried. He wrote his sharpest work in near total obscurity, unpublished for years, read by almost no one who mattered at the time. You have something he never had the ability to put this in front of exactly the people who need it. Right now, with one motion. Hit like so. The algorithm surfaces this for somebody else stuck in the opinion trap tonight. Drop a comment with the principle that hit hardest, the fox in the line, the power of refusal, the court of flatterers, because I read every one, and it tells me exactly what to dissect next. And subscribe, because this channel isn't going to be motivational noise. It's going to be a slow, deliberate education in how power actually thinks. And next time, I'm going deep into the playbook Machiavelli used against his own enemies, move by move, the same way he once used it against a city that thought it was finished with him. It wasn't, and neither are you.